So Apple just reported earnings. The stock is down just a little bit. And guess what? It's down because iPhone sales are down, Mac sales are down, tablet sales are down. But here's the thing, earnings per share is up about 5% because of the brilliant move that management made with this company a number of years to prioritize a key thing that continues to grow like crazy. I'm Jason Hall. This is The Smattering. I've got Jeff Santoro here with me. We're going to talk through Apple's earnings and what's going on that makes it still a relevant, interesting stock worth owning for a lot of investors. But first, we get to do these videos because of our sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you're looking for even more great stock ideas besides just Apple, go to our special link, fool.com/the smattering, and the Fool is going to give you its 10 best stocks to buy right now. Hey, Jeff, you've had a chance to look through Apple's earnings report, Apple's a stock that you own. Tell me what you think here.
So every time Apple reports, you're going to get headline numbers about iPhone sales and Mac sales and iPad sales and all the things you just referenced. But the big thing I think investors want to focus on is services revenue. So these are all of the subscription things that we all get into if we're in the Apple ecosystem, right? So you're paying for cloud storage. You might be paying for Apple Music. You might be paying for Apple Arcade or Apple News, all those things. That is a rapidly growing and consistently growing segment that does not get talked about enough. So here's a quick example. Over the last 5 quarters, the iPhone has only had positive year-over-year growth 3 out of the 5, okay? The Mac, only 1 out of 5. iPads, 1 out of 5. Wearables, 2 out of 5. Services revenue, all 5 quarters, that's gone up year over year. They haven't had a down quarter. A year ago, services represented 23.6% of overall revenue. This quarter, 25.9%. So what does that mean? Apple is getting more revenue from a really high margin part of the business. As you can imagine, the subscription part of the business is going to offer a better margin profile than the hardware, right? And you're seeing that in the gross margin. So a year ago, 43.26 was the gross margin. This quarter, 44.52. So almost a point and a half of gross margin expansion over the past year. So the stock down a little bit today. I get it. People don't dig in and see like the real secret sauce behind everything. But to me, I think these results were better than Wall Street's making it sound like.
Yeah, I think it's almost become a bit of a virtuous cycle, right? And I don't think you can just completely ignore the hardware sales. It's one of those things where it's cyclical, right? It's a very mature industry for all of those products. It's not going to be a double-digit growth category. But the key thing with Apple is it's this ecosystem where the more devices you have, the more services you have, you're not going to move to Android. If you've got Apple TV Plus and Apple Health and Apple Fitness and all of those different things you do, plus all of the other third-party apps that Apple makes so much profit on from handling the payments for. It's such a deep, sticky ecosystem. It continues to become a bigger part of the business. Last year, it was 22, 23% of the business, and it's approaching 26% of revenue. So as it becomes a bigger portion of revenue, it becomes an even bigger portion of cash flow and profits because it is such high margin, a wonderful, powerful business, minting cash. And I think they're doing a great job of returning it to shareholders too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to mention as we wrap up here. Getting a company that pays a modest dividend and buys back its stock like it's its job. So just a quick example, over the last 10 years, the shares outstanding for Apple have been reduced 38%. So they've bought back nearly 40% of their shares over the last decade. So that just makes every little piece we own of Apple a little bit more valuable. So there's a lot of reasons to like this stock.